This is Frederick's tower. So let's go downstairs to the torture area. Good morning from Celje, and the 6th day of my tour around Slovenia. And today I'm off to visit Celje Castle, located high up on the mountain, looking down over Celje and the Sevilla River. And just looking up at it, it looks absolutely impressive. What a place to build a castle. But I've got to get there, and that means a walk up there. So as long as it doesn't rain, I don't mind, because it rained in the night. We had a terrific thunderstorm in the night, and there is rain forecast for today. So I'm not sure how long the weather will hold off. Just get across the road here. There we go. I can't get run over. So hopefully I'll be back in the centre of the city by mid-afternoon, when the rain is expected to fall. But I've got to walk up this hill first. That'll be fun. It's really rather pleasant walking up here. Birds are in good voice. Hope the camera's picking that up. And there's lots of lovely little cottages as well. Very pleasant in the morning. About 17 degrees. It's just nice, it's just pleasant. And I get to walk somewhere that I've never walked before, and just enjoy the surroundings here in Celje. Absolutely beautiful country. I think it's a country I'm going to come back to again in a year or two and explore some of the other areas down towards the Croatian border, because there's lots of lakes down there, rivers and old historic towns. So, gosh, getting barked at by the local dog, but he's chained up, so that's good news. Well, let's walk on up this hill. It didn't look this far on the map. I thought it'd take about 40 minutes. It's taken me 45 so far, and I'm still not even there. But there is a fantastic view of the castle from here. Just turn the camera around. How about that for a view? Absolutely brilliant. What a superb place to build a castle. High up on a mountain. Yeah, I can't wait to get up there and have a look around. But there shouldn't be much longer. Just round this corner and I should be there. There was an easier option. I could have taken the bus. But where's the fun in that? A bus journey to a castle. Much more fun to walk and enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the scenery and the wildlife. And another dog is barking at me, but he's down there and I'm up here, so that's good. So let's keep walking and get to the castle. I've been walking for an hour now, and I must say the exercise has done me good, and it really is enjoyable walking these these back streets up the hills here. And the views overlooking the Slovenian countryside really are quite something. Lots of little cottages, little houses, surrounded by land. Really, it's just the most beautiful place to live. Must be a different way of life up here. But I can see the castle in the distance. So I've now arrived at my destination, and what a fantastic looking building it is. So let's go inside and take a look. The castle dates from 1322, founded by the Counts of Hohenberg, who came here from Carinthia, which is a duchy province located in southern Austria and northern Slovenia. In 1333, the castle came into possession of the lords of Sanek, who from 1341 became the lords, or the counts, of Celje. It's absolutely beautiful standing here, looking up at the towers. This is the main courtyard, and there's a well here as well. Nice to see that, and the date on the front of 1589. Gosh. Castle went on to become one of the most important in the region. In 1755, the castle was bought by Count Gainsborough, who used it for used the stone, I should say, for building a house. And it's from then on the castle started to fall into decline. The final residents left the castle in 1795, and after the Second World War, they started renovating the castle. It looks absolutely splendid here, it really does. But let's cross over the wooden bridge and head towards the towers at the back and see what we can discover actually inside the castle. And as I walk over the wooden bridge here, I can look down into the ditch that surrounds the main buildings. Look down at the walls and see the putlog holes, which would have been used in the castle's construction. But looking back at the main keep there, that's Frederick's tower. We'll see that a bit later, because that's where the dungeons are. So I'll get up there a bit later, but it looks really lovely up here, and the walkway along the walls as well. But let's head up this pathway and head up into this tower here. So I'm sure we're going to discover something really special about this castle. Just a shame I couldn't get to Ljubljana Castle the other day. It would have been nice to go there, but I guess that's another reason for returning to Slovenia. Let's just head up here these steps and just walk across this courtyard. Look up at the building and see the way the modern building has been constructed to look like the brickwork for the old castle. And they've done an exceptionally good job in preservation and renovation. I'm just going to walk through here, and this is what has brought me up here. These are the views overlooking Celje. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful place. See the old city area, the modern behind, the urban areas and the hills. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful place to see. You see, look down towards the railway line and the river You can see where I started my journey here this morning by walking along the side of the river. Didn't look too far on the map. It doesn't look too far from up here either. But it's quite a long way round to follow the roads. But there's a lovely section of ruined wall here and ruined building behind. You can see the windows, just how thick the walls are. It's about 6 feet in thickness. And you can look into the tower. You can see the line of holes where the wooden logs would have been, which would have supported the floor. The floorboards would have gone on top of that. Absolutely brilliant to see this. And it's so peaceful up here as well. It really is nice up here, very tranquil. And occupying this high spot, just the castle would have dominated the landscape. And looking out of here, looking out of the castle towards Celje, let's say 500 years ago, the scene would have been quite different. A little old medieval town and just rolling countryside. All the urban houses just wouldn't have been there. See one of the great views from a castle. I think this is a lovely view, it really is. Absolutely beautiful. But let's head down into the other towers, walk along the walkway and head towards Frederick's tower and the dungeon and the views from the top. Just so peaceful walking through here. There's only about 2 other people in the whole castle, which is really nice. But looking up here at this tower, see the roof and the wooden walkways. They've done a really good job in renovating the tower. Let's walk through now into this tower here and take a little look and see what we can discover. Then we'll walk along the walkway to the Frederick's tower and to the torture chambers that are in the house within. So let's just go in here. And in this room there's a display of arms and armour, weaponry and chain mail, all from the period when the Counts of Celje were in residence here. Really interesting to see that. And there's an artist's impression as well of just what the arms and armour would have looked like whilst being worn. Let's head up the stairs and see what's upstairs. And here we can see a display of the scribe. Now it's back at around 1425, Herman II, Count of Celje, actually commissioned a scribe to record the history of the Counts of Celje. And this is a display showing him at work and his living accommodation. Absolutely fascinating the way they've reconstructed all of this with a mannequin. Really interesting. There's one more level upstairs. Let's wander up here. And this display shows the guardians of the upper castle. Guardians are responsible for keeping the castle safe and secure and protecting the Counts of Celje. It also shows the simple lifestyle they would have led up here as well. They've really done this well up here in the castle. It's always interesting to walk around castles and seeing displays of how the castle might have been back in the day when it was occupied. Absolutely brilliant. But let's head down and go along that walkway and up to Frederick's Tower. So let's go downstairs to the torture area. And here we are in the torture area. And my goodness me, looking at these items brings back how gruesome medieval punishment could be. This chair is particularly unpleasant. Nails inwards. Person would have been strapped into the chair. You can see where the manacle would have gone over the wrist. And the feet, well, they would have been gradually crushed by tightening the screw on the block of wood at the bottom. I think that's enough to force a confession from anybody, just by looking at the chair. Gosh, it's grim. That is grim. And the executioner's axe. Familiar sight around castles and execution sites throughout Europe. And the column. People have been tied to the column and flogged and other horrible torture administered. Absolutely grim. And a rack. Feet tied at one end, laid over these spikes, and then stretched on the rack, forcing the body into the spikes. Just brings tears to your eyes just looking at these items. On the wall are some face masks. The condemned, the prisoner I should say, would have worn these masks. They were sat in the pillory and people would have thrown things at them, mocked them. Ultimate humiliation. And the cage. The condemned would have sat in the cage and the spikes would have pressed into their body. They could have been there for days or longer. And those spikes are pretty sharp and long. Not very pleasant at all. And there's a type of yoke here. A large circle that had gone round the condemned person's neck and the arms through the two smaller holes. So they've been out in front and then they've been led through the streets for everyone to see. I came across something similar in Slovakia last year at Miklas prison, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description, and it'll come up next as well. And the wheel. People were tied to the wheel and whipped, hit with sticks to break the bones and weaken the body. Broken on the wheel. There's a very good display inside Miklas prison for the wheel. One of the most feared devices in medieval torture. Just the condemned being brought into a torture chamber would have been enough, I'm sure, for them to give all the information that was required. Because nobody wants to suffer in a torture chamber. The pain, the suffering. And even if you survived, the effects would have stayed with you until the day you died. Because your body would never have healed properly, being subjected to this amount of torture. And as we came across the torture in Prešov in Slovakia last year, many people died being tortured. The body just gave up under the pressure and the strain and the pain. But let's head up to the top and look at the views from the roof. Around the beginning of the 14th century, the Counts of Celje built this defensive tower, designed as a final stronghold against any invaders. It's 23 metres high, the walls are 3 metres thick, and the entrance is on the first floor, which means there's no access at all from the ground floor. The tower takes its name from Frederick II, the son of the most powerful and influential of all the Counts of Celje. According to the story, Frederick II's father held his son captive in the prison of the tower because he was against Frederick marrying Veronica of Descenis. Now, she was quite an interesting lady because she was accused of being a witch, but the courts acquitted her. But despite that, her father-in-law, Frederick's father, had her imprisoned in Celje Castle, and there she was murdered. She was drowned in the bath. Interesting story, and it's one which is in folklore here in Celje. And as I stand here, look behind me, you can see the road that I came up earlier. And if I go to this window here, well, this opening here, you can look back and get a better viewpoint over the city of Celje. Absolutely beautiful here, it really is, and I've had a really superb day here, or morning, just walking around this castle. It's been really interesting, and it's been made possible through a donation to the channel. So a big thank you to Oliver Grennan, who went onto the Buy Me a Coffee link, which you'll find in the description, and was very generous and purchased several coffees for me, which has allowed me to have this day out here in Celje Castle. There's also a cafe down here as well, and I should be going there in a few minutes for a little light refreshment. So thank you, Oliver. Your contribution to the channel is much appreciated. And if you'd like to get a mention on my channel and purchase a coffee, then please do as Oliver did and use the Buy Me a Coffee link, which you'll find in the description. Tomorrow I'm off to Maribor, another city here in the north of Slovenia, about 10 miles from the Austrian border, about 12-13 miles or so from the Austrian city of Graz. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed my walk around. It's been absolutely brilliant here. So if you have, hit that subscribe button and follow my journey, because there's plenty more to come and plenty more travel series on my channel. And I'll leave a link to Nicholas Prison at the end of this video. You can see more about torture and grim prisons. So I'll leave you with a few pictures overlooking the views here of Celje and the surrounding countryside. Thanks for watching.